What's up, my comic comrades? Daredevil Season 3 premiered yesterday, and the man without fear not only is facing off against Kingpin once again this season, but he will also find himself face to face with another one of his greatest enemies, Bullseye. And whenever a big comic book character hits the screen, we're here to tell you about their comic book roots. So today, we're looking at Bullseye's origin. Now, with all that said, Bullseye's origin is pretty fun because it's like the Joker's in the sense that he claims to have a certain past, but it's not 100% definitive that that's his actual past. For instance, in the 5-issue miniseries Bullseye's Greatest Hits, we got the character's origin, but it's later hinted that he may have made it all up. He's gone by the real name Benjamin Poindexter, but then on other occasions has gone by Lester Poindexter, and then even the name Leonard. In any case, he first appeared in Daredevil issue 131 in March of 1976, and was created by writer Marv Wolfman and artist John Romita Sr. As for his most widely accepted comic book origin, it all took place in the aforementioned miniseries titled Bullseye's Greatest Hits. In the book, Bullseye tells his origin to his fellow inmates who are actually agents under disguise while he's locked up. According to his story, apparently he grew up in Queens, New York with his drunk, abusive father, his mother, and his brother Nate. As for Bullseye himself, he claims his name is Leonard, as that's what his brother calls him. His brother Nathan was an angry child, which was understandable as his father beat him, his mother, and Leonard. So he took his anger out by shooting pigeons with a rifle on top of their roof. That's not problematic at all. Anyway, it was here we see Leonard's amazing accuracy for the first time, as he didn't like his yo-yo, so he threw it at a pigeon, killing it, before going back downstairs with his brother. One morning while the two were eating breakfast, Nate tells Leonard, "I want to kill Dad," to which he says, "Yeah, me too." But Nate then says, "Don't come home today, Leonard." But he came home that night anyway to see the entire apartment building on fire, and he saw his brother coming out of the window all battered up from the smoke and fire. Nate then sees Leonard and yells to him, "Mom is dead. She's dead." To which Leonard's like, "What?" Then out of nowhere, we see their dad grab Nate back into the building while Nate says, "Get out of here, Leonard." Their dad then comes out half on fire, saying, "Is that the best you can do?" In the end, his father and brother died, so he was placed in foster homes. Leonard eventually ended up with the Wilkerson family, a family he describes as too nice. They got him into sports and he became one of the best baseball players on his high school baseball team, and in turn was offered a ton of scholarships, but he passed on them. And after only playing 3 games in the minors, he got called up to the majors. While playing his first major league game, things were going great. His foster father was even in the crowd, all proud of him. By the bottom of the 9th, he had 2 outs with a no-hitter going, but then as he said, he got bored and told his coach to take him out, that he's done. The coach, not understanding why he would ever want to be taken out of the game with a no-hitter going, says, "Just take this guy out and finish the game." The batter then looks at him and laughs, saying, "Got you scared, huh?" Leonard then decided to have some fun and drilled the batter with a fastball so hard it killed him, to which Leonard says, "Bullseye." And that was a watershed moment for him, as it revealed that killing brought him pleasure. He was then thrown out of the league, but his lawyer got the charges for manslaughter dropped. Anyway, because of his incredible accuracy, he eventually ended up in the CIA. But of course went rogue and became Bullseye, one of Marvel's greatest assassins. I will say though, he doesn't like to be called an assassin. However, in the last issue of the story, Bullseye reveals that he made all of this up, as he says his brother has 3 kids and lives in Idaho, and that his name isn't Nate, it's Lester, and he's the one who set the fire. He also reveals that his father lived by jumping out a window and into a dumpster. So like I said earlier, he quite literally takes the Joker approach, where he tells his origin a different way every time. With his origin out of the way, let me tell you about his powers and abilities real quick. His most prominent ability, and why he's called Bullseye, is because he could turn any object into a lethal weapon and rarely ever misses. I say rarely because he has been known to miss moving targets. Believe it or not, Bullseye has had strips of adamantium planted and fused into parts of his skeleton, meaning all of the bones that are laced with adamantium are virtually indestructible, which increases Bullseye's resistance to physical injury. It's also been confirmed that Bullseye's fists, spinal column, and skull are completely covered in adamantium. He's also an expert marksman, obviously, a skilled pilot, a great acrobat, an expert martial artist, an interrogation expert, he possesses stealth skills, and he's an expert assassin. Another ability he has is he's hypercognitive, meaning his brain works way faster than a normal human. He has way more powers and abilities, but I think you guys get the gist. If you're looking for some good Bullseye reading recommendations, I'd say read Daredevil issue 191 in the story titled Rowlett, written by Frank Miller, read Last Hand in Daredevil issue 181, watch out for Bullseye in Daredevil issue 131, and Daredevil Born Again. I think those 4 are enough to get you off to a nice start. But that's going to bring another episode of Variant to a close, but remember to check out the Vikings link in our description box so you can get a free game, as well as help out the channel. Also remember to check out variantcomics.com and all of our social media. But I'll see you guys next time when I talk about all things comics.